Well, now let's talk about the rockers. You got some great ones on there, including Girls in Black, which sounds an awful lot like a ZZ Top song to me, and some other good ones as well. But the one that I chose to play is called You Don't Have Me. Was that directed perhaps at any former bandmates?
No, not really.
No?
That's really directed at any time you've been in a relationship. And someone told me a long time ago there's two types of people that give and people that take. And if you're in a relationship where you're giving and giving and giving, and the other person is taking and not reciprocating in some way, finally you reach a point where you say, this just isn't working. It's got to be a two-way street or this relationship's not going to work. And so that's kind of what that song is about. And if there's problems in the relationship, it's better to just confront them and talk about them. But at some point, when somebody's taking everything from you, you have to say, I don't know what you're looking for. You got everything you need, but you don't have me. Bye-bye.
But you can understand how someone like, I don't know, myself, might interpret that to be directed at ex-bandmates.
No, it's not specifically directed at anyone.
I'm glad you said that. The impression I get from all these tracks is that they're specific enough for us to know that they mean a lot to you, but they're also general enough to put yourself in them.
Yeah, well, good. That's the idea behind songwriting. The people can empathize or put themselves in that situation. They can relate to a common human situation that they've related to in the past, that they've experienced.
Well, let's let the listeners judge for themselves and get a taste of You Don't Have Me from Road to Forever.
Something wrong. Why can't you just step on up and tell me? 'Cause it won't take too long for you and me to wrestle through this honesty. Yeah, we've both been here. Now we're back once again. I don't know what you're looking for, 'cause you've got everything you need. It's just never enough. You've still got to have more. You've got everything but me. No, you don't have me. Look me in the eye. I can tell you're dealing me a dirty hand. Tell me what kind of a friend would turn his back and rob you blind, just like he planned. And it takes a wicked heart and an empty soul to do what you do. I don't know what you're looking for, 'cause you've got everything you need. It's just never enough. You've still got to have more. You've got everything but me. No, you don't have me. That's what you keep telling me. You can't feel love 'cause your heart is empty.
Well, we just heard samples of mellow and rocking songs. There's one track on the album which actually qualifies as both. That's a title track. So we get ready to wrap up the interview. Why don't you talk us through that one?
Well, I originally started writing that song right after my father passed away. He was a huge influence in my life, as you know from reading the book.
Yeah.
Really sponsored my music, encouraged me, and he never really got to see the success I had in the Eagles. He passed away just as I joined the band. So when he passed away, I wanted to write the feelings I had in a song about that. And so I started this really kind of a pretty acoustic finger-picking type track and wrote some lyrics to it and just let it remain dormant until I started looking at all the song ideas I had for this record called Road to Forever. And the original engineer producer that was going to make this record with me was a very famous record producer named Greg Ladani. And he unfortunately passed away just a couple of weeks before we were going to commence in the studio working on this record. So I thought it was only appropriate that the two key people that would have been so influential in my life as far as helping me make records and promoting me into helping me in music was that I kind of saluted them. So I finished writing the song Road to Forever, and I wanted it to have some really strength in it. So instead of it just being a pretty acoustic song, I kind of rearranged the middle parts of it and made it rock out. And at the very end of the song, the concept of Road to Forever encapsulates the feeling that if you could stick your head up into the heavens and hear the voices of all the souls that have gone on before us swarming around your head talking, it would sound like a big buzz or a hum of voices. So I created this thing called the Pool of Souls at the end of this record, and to simulate that experience. And I went online and I found Greg Ladani speaking at a recording engineer and producers conference, and he says, and that's the difference between the two worlds. So I took that line that he speaks and I put it at the very end of the Pool of Souls. You have to turn your volume up really to hear it distinctly, but so that Greg is encapsulated in the Pool of Souls, which he obviously is now, and it was a tip of the hat to him, and it's an appropriate ending, I thought, for that particular track.
Yeah, and the volume I tend to listen to music at, I've never missed it.
Okay.
But,
as well as everybody that he and I had talked about that we wanted to use to play on this record, I invited him to play on that song.
Yeah.
So everybody's there kind of as a salute to Greg and my father.
Yeah, I'm glad you told the story because, until I heard you say it in another interview, I certainly didn't know about any of that, and it must have been a tough phone call to get about the tragedy of his death in Greece.
It absolutely was. It just kind of knocked the wind out of me because we were literally just a week or two away from starting this record, and we had been working on it for about 3 months in advance, talking about who we'd get to play on it, listening to songs, having meetings, playing golf, talking to other musicians, getting it all lined up, and then gone.
Well, according to my system of beliefs, he has heard the album.
Oh, I'm certain he was right there hovering around during every track, I'm sure.
Well, before we listen to it, I want to mention Don's website, donfelder.com. He's going to be touring extensively in support of this album, so be sure to visit the site to keep tabs on those tour dates. And also be sure to get his new album, Road to Forever, which literally does not have a single weak track on it. Of course, I also highly recommend Don's book, Heaven and Hell, My Life with the Eagles, 1974 to 2001. Well, Don, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me. I truly enjoyed it, and I know my listeners did as well.
Fantastic, Dan. Thank you. I appreciate your support and help and taking the time to do this. We'll do it again.
Sounds awesome.
Find ourselves here, somewhere among all these stars. The wind whispers, oh so sweetly, this is the road to forever. This is the said, singing this is the road to forever. This is the road. This is the road. This is the road. Road to forever. Brother, this is the road.
They understand the difference between the two worlds.